And we are live on Thanksgiving morning. Happy Thanksgiving on this 27th day of November in the year of our Lord 2025. I'm in beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire, where Torah is demanding treats, food, attention, anything but do the live stream, Mom. Okay, say hi to your adoring fans. Okay? All right. It's morning lunch, which is quite appropriate. Hi, Jason. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm skipping the turkey this year. I don't know how it is across the country, but here in California, all the turkeys at the grocery store were about 20 pounds, and let's see, the organic brand was $60. The slightly cheaper brand was $48, and I'm not going to eat 20 pounds of turkey. Of course, the cats will. They'll eat turkey till they burst, but I can't spend $60 just on part of a whole meal. The food bank at the church gave us rotisserie chicken last Sunday because they couldn't justify $60 each for turkeys either. However, there is a community meal with turkey and all the fixings. The way things work out, I'm not able to attend, so they said they would bring me a meal with turkey and mashed potatoes and what we call yams. It's really sweet potatoes. And, stuffing and or dressing and cranberry sauce and so forth. Maybe some creamed corn or green beans or both. I don't know. We'll see. Last year they forgot me and I had to call a friend and who just put together something at the gathering and brought it to me. This year I hope they don't forget me. Also, we did ask at the grocery store if maybe next time they could have just the breast and just the leg for people where they have only one or two people to feed and they don't want to cook a 20-pound turkey, especially not for $60. I imagine they're half that price in some states. We have those stinking rules, regulations, and taxes here in California. Our state is the true definition of a dictatorship. Hi, Widow, welcome in. So I'm going, you gotta be kidding me on the turkey. I'll check at the grocery store after Thanksgiving and see if they've made any changes yet on things like, can I just buy a turkey breast and not the whole bird? I used to go ahead and cook the whole turkey. I'd get the smallest one they had, around 10 or 12 pounds. And my granddaughter and would come around and help me eat it. And I had a dog, so more leftovers were more turkey for Bandit. He was a 120-pound dog, so he could eat the whole thing if he wanted. Ah, Jason's having Thanksgiving with his step uncle and step brother. Had an interview at Lowe's this week. Let's pray that Jason got hired. He's asking for prayer. Oh man, I'm sorry, Jason. Yeah, I haven't gone hungry, but I have gone without. ah. For example, I didn't like the rotisserie chicken very much, but I ate it and shared with the cats, which saved me a little money on cat food. You can't buy cat food with food stamps. Oh, hi, RW. Welcome in. Anyway, the chicken had way too many herbs, like sage and thyme, Thyme. Thyme is a very bitter flavor. You're supposed to go easy on it. And it wasn't just in the skin, it was all in the meat. And it wasn't smoked, it was not something they put in the fire when they roasted the rotisserie chicken. Hi, Freeman, welcome in. We just started talking turkey, literally. Can't get a Thanksgiving turkey. I could have gotten one. I had enough food stamps, but what about the rest of the month? California is nuts. The turkeys were $60 for a 20-pound turkey. That's $3 a pound. And I've heard that it's well under $2 a pound in some states. Plus, I can't eat a 20-pound turkey. I can't even lift it to put it in the roaster. They're nuts. They are absolutely nuts. The expensive organic ones were about $60 for a 20-pound turkey. The slightly cheaper Jenny O were $48. Like, no. Absolutely not. Poor RW has to stay home with a resurgence of COVID symptoms. Alone and sick. Chicken soup is good. It really is. Although I wouldn't buy Campbell's nowadays. It used to be good stuff. They've gone cheap, super cheap. And sorry, itchy's real bad. because my immune system is attacking the tumor. That's a good thing, but it's uncomfortable. And it gets worse when I apply the ointment they prescribed. Okay. Just not in the mood to cook. Yeah. RW. Well, um, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a viral video of one of the vice presidents of Campbell's. I have not watched the whole hour, but he's like every third or fourth word is the F word about how he won't eat the product they sell because it's only for poor people and it's cheap and it's genetically modified and this, that, and the other. He said the chicken was made on a 3D printer. Well, it isn't exactly a 3D printer, but they make a slurry, apparently from what's left over after the actual chicken parts have been sold. You know, mechanically separated meat. They use various procedures to get the scraps of meat off the bones, whatever's left. And then they mix it up and cook it and add some kind of basically edible glue made from plants. And they shape it and cook it and call it chicken. Yeah. Well, Freeman, if the comic artists or stand-up comics make funny jokes, they get banned for being non-woke. I was buying Progresso soups too, RW, because they're better than Campbell's, but their quality has been declining too. For example, I like clam chowder. But Campbell's clam chowder, I couldn't find the clam in it. It was teeny tiny pieces you could never get your teeth into. So I switched to Progresso and it was much better. But the last time I got the Progresso clam chowder, I had to add a can of baby clams to it, or baby clam pieces, because there were very few bits of clam and they were beginning to. Most of the pieces were just like Campbell's, too small to get your teeth into. And here and there, there'd occasionally be a piece of clam you could actually chew on. That's one of the good things about clam. You can chew on it and you never get it thoroughly chewed. It's fun. It's like rubber. Uh, oh, Freeman's afraid of clams. Each clams. Fish bait. Well, it isn't like I eat it every day. It's a special treat, maybe twice a year, clam chowder. But I've given up now because all of a sudden all the clams are processed in Vietnam, and I don't trust that. They'll be farm raised and in terrible conditions, and they just won't be even the least bit healthy. It's a shame. I can't eat my favorite foods because they're suddenly toxic and disgusting, and they aren't cheap. Oh well. And it's getting hard to get decent canned tuna too. Even from major brands, or maybe especially from major brands like Starkist and Chicken of the Sea. Yeah, well, you get your clams at a restaurant, you do take a chance on a parasite, Freeman. The ones in the cans have been cooked at such a high temperature that parasites don't survive. But I still have to give them up. And anyway, I don't like them as much as oh hell, what are they called? Let's see if Google will tell me. No. Come on. Okay, I'm in Google. Scallops. I used to get Stouffer's. You just buy this um, frozen scallops that you cook in the oven. This was before everything was plastic and you could put it in the microwave. With scallops in a cream sauce. Really loved that. The price has skyrocketed and the quality is in the dumpster. Not a shortage of tuna, Freeman. Shortage of tuna that's worth eating. Ah, you finished my book. Okay, Freeman. Well, if chapter 7 is missing, that's just very Phil Dickian. I'll fill it in later. When it's really actually book length, I'll publish it. Right now, I'm on a binge with the murder mystery. The setting is winter, and it's almost winter here, so. Well, I'll talk about something. Some maniac shot National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. I think one of the troops died. It's hard to get any facts on the incident, But apparently, there were two unarmed National Guard, a man and a woman, just walking down the street in Washington, D.C. And this Afghan refugee shot them multiple times with a handgun. There was a third National Guard nearby who was armed, and he hid behind a car. And then when the bad guy tried to shoot him, the gun jammed, and by arm knife. So that National Guard went after the bad guy with a knife, and the guy ran away. And another National Guard troop who wasn't as close caught the bad guy. They were saying that the bad guy was an Afghan interpreter, but that's deceptive. He was working for one of the non-government organizations that were bringing aid, foreign aid. He was not working for our military. And of course, he shouted the usual phrase that they shout, when they're attacking. God is great in their language. Oh, Jason scrunched up enough change to buy a cigar. So he's going to walk to the store. Well, for what it's worth, Jason, occasional fasting. He says he didn't have food yesterday. If you fast once in a while, it's supposed to be good for your health. Boy. I'm looking forward to the turkey. If it doesn't arrive, I might do something stupid, buy a 20-pound turkey. You can't get turkey year-round. At least not here. You can get turkey sausage, but that is not turkey. You know, it's ground turkey. Ground up like hamburger meat, also known as minced meat or mince, or did I say hamburger meat? Ground beef. Yeah. Doesn't have the texture. Oh, God. No Swanson's Turkey TV dinner. For one thing, I don't put the gravy on the turkey. The gravy belongs on the potatoes, not the turkey. Although here and there I'll dip a bite of turkey into the gravy that's on the potatoes. Also, when you get frozen turkey dinner, no matter what the brand, the turkey tastes salty, way too salty, and not table salt, some other kind of salt. Man, Jason, you gotta get a job. Get on your feet. RW is gonna make a fresh cup of coffee and some eggs. Good. I hope you feel better. We need to pray for RW to get well. Well, the deli section of the supermarket has those meats that are Basically, the meat is chopped up and molded back together. Although I do like the Boar's Head brand and I don't care, but it's not Thanksgiving turkey. They do make a killer fried chicken at our local grocery store. You can get fried chicken, and sometimes they have barbecued chicken. Just the smell of it, because the barbecue's outside. It's actually a great big smoker. Oh my, I gotta have some. Gotta. Wow. Yeah, there aren't many jobs available, Jason, for ordinary working class people because for some reason there's so many people looking for jobs. I wonder where they came from. I better stop. I could not be happy with a frozen turkey dinner, Freeman. I'll just eat chicken. It isn't exactly cheap, but it's cheaper than turkey. Oh yeah, you're right, Witta. Sometimes they're fake jobs. It's like we'll do interviews in case we need another employee, or someone wants a pay raise and they say, "Look, here's a dozen people who want your job." I don't know. Learn to speak Spanish. It might help. I'm glad you're having Thanksgiving dinner. Ask them if you can have some leftovers for tomorrow. Poor Jason. Well, yeah, there was a time when I lived in my car. At least it didn't break down. That Honda Accord was actually quite comfortable because the driver's seat reclined all the way back to flat. And I was small enough so I could put a pillow on the back seat and a blanket on top of me and sleep. And I'd take a couple of towels and to cover the windows so people wouldn't be looking in and staring at me. One time a police car pulled up behind me. I was parked at work after hours, but I was not sleeping at that time. So I turned on the dome light and picked up the map book. Why can't I remember what it's called? The map book that everybody had. It was spiral bound and gave you maps of everything around you, all the roads. Thomas Guide. So the police car moved on. I think, yeah, I think maybe Rand McNally makes the Thomas Guide. I'm not sure. Oh, and this year is the last print edition of the Farmer's Almanac. They won't be printing it anymore. I don't think it's in this, but for like over 100 years, they've been the go-to guide for long-term weather forecasts. Are we going to have a cold, wet winter, or just cold, or warmer than usual? That kind of prediction. And they've been pretty darn accurate. Oh, well. So anyway, I hope you all can enjoy Thanksgiving. Yeah, the Farmer's Almanac has a website and a free newsletter. That's how I know about it. It's an email newsletter. And they're really pushing their products that they sell other than books. Christmas tree ornaments, stuff for the yard like a hummingbird feeder or a bird feeder, or just decorations of various kinds. And the stick that's supposed to predict rain, it's I forget what kind of wood it is, but it'll bend if it's going to rain. I like my paper books, Witta. I don't like having to use up my internet just to read something. Although I don't mind playing an audiobook on the phone using just data. My data is unlimited, but my internet connection is very limited. Yeah, the screens hurt my eyes too, Witta. And I hate the ones that have a black background with white letters. I can't read those. They just go wonky. You know, it's like my eyes just hate that, so they refuse to focus. Oh, and even worse, even though it's readable, is red letters on a black background. Yeah, I can read those, but they really, really, I don't know. I don't think it's physical pain. I think it's just an emotional reason. I don't like that at all. It might be appropriate for a brief blurb about something about vampires or werewolves, but not a whole book. Not even a whole chapter. Well, guys, I do hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'll be busy doing last minute details because of code enforcement. Well, hi, Juanita. Welcome in. It was the end of October when code enforcement cited me. For two things. One was I put my trash out front so it could be picked up. What am I supposed to do? Hide it behind the house? Because someone might see that I'm putting out my trash so it can get picked up and hauled away? And the other was photos of my driveway, and I honestly could not see anything wrong with it. I had some garden supplies in crates under a tarp. And I had my picnic table with some of the picnic supplies under it and next to it. They cited me for those. And what they do now is I've heard from other people in the community, every one of their citations and mine said the whole property. And it listed junk, garbage, scrap wood, scrap metal, furniture. I honestly thought they meant I should get rid of the picnic table. When they called me on the phone, it said, no, there was a table front with the trash. And I'm like, and I said, yeah, it was going out with the trash. It was trash. Little tiny thing, maybe 10 or 12 inches square. You know, it was made to hold one lamp or one knick-knack, maybe a bowl of candy. Really. And there was clutter. Excuse me. My picnic supplies are not clutter. Well, I've fixed all that. I have not pulled any more things out of the shed to sort and bag up for the trash. We're required to sort our trash, and we cannot put out any electronic devices or flashlight batteries. They don't take yard waste here either. And for $100 a month, they ought to. They're still using the ancient trucks that they were using when they took over from our private trash haulers 10 years ago. See, we were not required to pay the trash company until Burtec took over. And now it's something like $100 a month plus $40 if you want them to actually haul your trash. So even if you're not using their service, they want $100 a month. I'm not going to Scottsdale, Freeman. Bite your tongue. It's 200 degrees in the shade. Yes, I'm exaggerating. My shoes melted in Scottsdale because I stood on the sidewalk too long. I like my snow. Now, if you want to talk northern Arizona, in or near the mountains, preferably in the mountains, I think that's Flagstaff. Also, I've never seen the Grand Canyon in person. Wyoming. No thanks. You cannot beat the climate and geography in California, so I'm staying and fighting. Gruesome new scum has destroyed our state. It started under, of all people, Ronald Reagan, the Republican governor. He started shutting down our state hospitals. And then Jerry Brown, who came after him, the Democrat, finished the job. All we have left in our state hospitals is patients who can't get out of bed because they're so far gone, so they're actually dying, and hardened criminals who were found Not guilty by reason of insanity, but too dangerous to set them loose, so they're locked up in state hospitals. There's one near us, and once in a while they warn us that an inmate has escaped. And there's all kinds of people who are homeless because they were out of the state hospitals. Even when they wanted to stay, they were not allowed to. They have some mental disabilities, some physical disabilities, or both. And they're on the street because they cannot take care of themselves, and our wonderful social services keep letting them down. Flagstaff and White Pine, but I'll need a car. Can't I get by on a horse, Freeman? I haven't ridden in years because of my back, but I'd rather ride a horse than drive a car any day. Can always get a little buggy and have a horse and buggy. One of those little ones like in the kart races at the horse racing track. I used to know what those were called. Hi, Anthony. Welcome in and happy Thanksgiving. I was just on a rant about California. The number one thing that could be done to improve California is to reopen the state hospitals to people who need care, who are not capable of taking care of themselves, so they end up homeless and on the street. Well, the carriage is the least of the cost, Freeman. For a horse and buggy, the horse is a big expense because the horse has to eat and will undoubtedly have vet bills. You think it costs a lot to take care of your cat or your dog? Try having a vet come out and see your horse. Yeah, Anthony, closing the mental hospitals was the were also for physical disabilities. Well, in a sense, they still are. They've got bedridden patients. They can't get out of bed, so someone has to turn them over at least once a day to prevent bed sores. And many of those are dying. You know, that's how they end up in the state hospital. They've run out of money and insurance, so they go there. But I was beginning to see these obviously disabled patients just roaming the streets, scouring through the dumpster at McDonald's for something to eat and talking to themselves as if they were having a conversation with someone. Now, I do that once in a while, but only when I'm at home and alone and no one's going to hear me and go, oh, she's crazy. But I know I'm talking to myself. Anyway, that was in the 80s when Reagan was not president, governor of California. Harry Brown took over as governor. He's the one who started this toy train. The one that has spent $100 billion and never laid a single foot of track for the train. And never mind the cost of buying high-speed electric trains. to run on the tracks if they ever lay down the tracks. Hi, Etziquendia. Bienvenuto. And I don't remember which language that is. Might be Italian or Portuguese. I don't think it's Spanish. Might be French. Who knows? No, it couldn't be French. Come in. I'm winding down, but then I bring up Gruesome Newscomb. You think it's Spanish, Witta? I don't know. Could be. I know some phrases for Merry Christmas, like Buon Natale. That's Italian. Anyway, what Etziquentia posted was Spanish. No hablar. Long time no hablar. Yeah, I know what it means. Long time no talk or long time no see. But hablar is to talk. I want my chocolate cookie. But I know I don't like the cooking shows where you watch the cook eat. Apparently, people like that to make sure it really does taste good. But some chefs on YouTube will pretend it tastes good and then go spit it out off camera. Native speakers are talking. I'm lost. You know, I remember gracias, de nada. You know, thank you, you're welcome. De nada is it's nothing. Well, at Sequentia, we've tried twice now to recall Newsom, and it failed twice. Our state is gerrymandered, and people don't seem to understand. They don't bother to vote. Las papas fritas, many or much fried papas. Por favor is please. I gave up on Spanish because I can't trill the R's to save my life. Yeah, the voting is rigged in California. We're super gerrymandered, and if this Proposition 50 redistricting succeeds, survives all the court cases, it'll be even worse. We get around 40% Republican votes in the national elections, but we get less than 20% of the actual seats in Congress going to Republicans. Oh, French fries, RW. I thought potatoes were patatas. They're papas? Okay, help me Google. Translate papas fritas. This says it's Italian for French fries. Oh, also Spanish. Google can't make up its mind. It's probably the same in Italian as in Spanish. Much of Italian is the same as Spanish, but don't count on it. You might say something other than what you meant if you try to use the wrong phrase in the wrong language. Freeman, well, fortunately, I'm in a nice, quiet community where everybody, almost everybody, just looks out for each other. There are a few bad guys, but we know who they are and we know where they live. Cigarette pack empty. I'll just have to suffer today. I do have an ancient e-cig, one of those battery-powered vape pens from like 20 years ago. I don't see any way to charge the battery on that thing. I think you just use it till it wears out. But even if it doesn't light up the end to make it look like a real cigarette, you can still suck the nicotine out of it. It isn't the same. Oh dear, Freeman. Why would I want to be turned on to a guy? You're talking slang, I was a little too young to be a hippie. And then a little too old to be into the dance hall scene with the, what did they call that music? Like the Bee Gees? You wear a polyester leisure suit and you do these crazy dance moves. Yeah, disco. Thank you, at Sequentia. I did kind of like the mirrored ball that they would hang up, and it would be lighted and it would spin and you'd see all kinds of colors. Thanks, Juanita. Disco. I had one polyester leisure suit, and it was not shiny. It was kind of ribbed, burgundy color and ribbed. It had like stripes, but they were not a different color. They were raised fabric in the shape of pinstripes. Oh well, whatever. Oh, Juanita's gonna put a disco bell or ball on her Christmas tree. Good plan. Hi, Jason. Welcome back. We're getting close to an hour here. I think that code enforcement ought to hire some people who know what they're doing. Now, there was an anonymous complaint about my property, and it had to have come before I put my trash out front. Because they posted this yellow piece of not heavy cardboard, but stiff paper on my gate the day I put the trash out front. And there was really nothing else to complain about. They're just freaking nuts. And I'm almost certain it was the person who had asked to buy my house about a week before code enforcement came out. They wanted to buy my house, undoubtedly to flip it. And I said it is not for sale. And a week later, I get cited for stupid stuff. Well, Freeman, I wasn't thrilled with the Cotchets song or whatever that was. I will email the link to myself. Oh, come on. And both of them are owned by Google. Come on, open my mail. Open my stinking mail. You evil computer, evil Google. Okay, I've missed some of the. Oh, Leisure Suit Larry. I never heard of that. And open mail so I can email the link to myself. Evil computer. This is supposedly for security. Come on. It's showing me my email, but it has the hourglass of doom running. So it won't let me send an email. $4 million. I don't want $4 million might buy me another house. I suppose I move somewhere. Okay. There we go. It's sending. That's almost certainly the lady who bought the house next door and is flipping it. She probably wants to own the whole block. So anyway, and I had already cleaned everything up. At least everything you could see from the street. I'm like, what? I have my garden supplies under a tarp at the end of the driveway, closest to the storage shed. And they'll go back in the storage shed after I clean out the shed and bug bomb it. Yeah, Cholent, Freeman. I haven't listened to the Bojangles song yet. The Cholent song reminded me of all kinds of 70s music from, music groups that just didn't make it. They were like gimmick groups. All right, have you sent my email? Yes, it has sent it. I'm looking forward to the community feast, even though I can't attend. They claim they will bring me dinner. Between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And if they don't, I'll start calling people. Yeah, I know. Chillin'. I'm trying to remember which 70s song that reminds me of. It might be a wee mawep. In the jungle. It never goes into an actual tune very well. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. That's a pretty good song. A wee mawep, a wee mawep. Cholent. Get it? They ripped off somebody. I know they did. But that's quite The Lion Sleeps Tonight. But it's another song that's just not reaching my brain yet. Oh well. We shall survive. Let's just pray for everybody, especially people stuck in California where anyone who can is leaving. Oh, and my printer is 100% out of ink, and I have to copy some important documents. So I'm going to have to beg a nearby business to let me use their copier. But not today, it's Thanksgiving. Hiccups. Uh-oh. I hate hiccups. Yes, everybody. Uh-huh. Don't hate. Don't hate Newsom. I feel sorry for him having to suffer the demons that run around in his head. I almost wrote, thank you all for living, which is kind of pardon me for living. My sign off, and I'm going to say have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Now, Canada already had their Thanksgiving, but heck, why not have two of them? And if you're in a different country or you just don't celebrate it, say hi to your family, your friends. Let's see. I don't want to hear a song that makes me scream. I tried to play Phil's favorite Bach cantata, Cantata 140. Wachet auf, ruft die Stimme. Wake up, the voice called. The voice is calling you. Of course, that's the voice of God. He thought that we all need to wake up, that we're in some kind of nightmare. It sure seems like one. Oh, the Ninth Symphony. Yeah, that's Beethoven. I love that. That's the Ninth Symphony is joy. I don't remember the words to it, but there is a chorus as part of that symphony. Come sing a song of joy for peace and understanding. I'm sure that's not exactly the same as what Beethoven wrote because he wrote in German. Okay, I'll give Freeman a few minutes to. Oh, I think he's in contact with Etsy Quintia. Uh, oh well. I am gonna fall asleep. My sleep schedule has been so messed up. I'm taking at least one nap a day, probably because I'm wearing myself out puttering around the yard and making sure that everything's squeaky clean without clutter. Oh gosh. You had to remind me of Bojangles. Please, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He was an amazing dancer. I have seen one episode of Charlie Chan, a movie, short movie, back when most movies were 45 minutes, not an hour and a half to 3 hours. Had Stephen Fetchit. That was his stage name. He chose it. I found it very uncomfortable. But that guy made, a very black African man, American, but, and pretending to be stupid and lazy. He was stupid and lazy. He made a fortune. But it's really cringy to watch his performance in the Charlie Chan movie. Yeah, we could be. Well, I'm sure we're being toyed with by evil gods, Freeman. But they are not real gods, they're imposters. Okay, have you posted both Choland and Bobo Jin? I need to get some food into me. That's probably why I'm nodding off. I'm hungry. Anyway, food will make me wake. Glass of lemonade and some eggs and, I don't know, toast. Oh, lost classics from the 60s that got no radio play. Okay. Or whoever. Yeah, I'm drinking eggnog right now. Okay, I'll see you when I see you. Maybe another insomnia edition if my sleep